This video is going to be a merge of 2 weeks into one. I then put my store in holiday mode, and since then... Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom and this is Tom's Toys 95. This is a week in the life of a part-time eBay reseller. I go through my eBay sales and I document my eBay journey with you guys. So I'll show you exactly what I picked up, where I got it from and how much I sold it for. And at the end of the video, I'll go over how much profit I made. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the sales. So this week has started off a little bit slower than last week. So you'd have seen in last week's episode, if you watched it, I made a massive amount of sales, which was a bit of an anomaly really compared to what usually sells. So I maybe make about 10 to 15 sales a week, and I made 25 sales last week and made over £1,100. So massive amounts of money last week. This week not started out as great, but we've still got a couple of sales to go through nonetheless. So first sale then is a pair of these Arsenal shorts. So I picked these up from a little town somewhere up north. I can't remember where now, it's near Lancashire. And I went away for a break with my girlfriend for our anniversary. And there was a little castle and stuff there we had to view, and there was a little town centre around it, and so I popped into a few charity shops and I found a few bits. So I did actually find another pair of Arsenal shorts, which I think I paid like £4 or £5 for, and they sold for like 25-30 quid. And these ones were £6 and they've only sold for £17.99, but still decent money in there. So they are a pair of just Arsenal swim shorts, but I thought those were pretty cool. £6, I think they were sized like double or triple XL, so nice big size. Now I've had these two games listed for a long time, and both of them are sold within the last week. So one's just sold and one sold last week as well. And I picked both of them up for a tenner. One sold for £17.50 because it's in better condition, that was last week, and this one's only gone for £15.49, so only a little bit of profit in it. But yeah, that is Rune Factory Oceans. So I haven't actually played this one, but I do have this in my PS3 collection. That is nice and complete. There is a little bit of like a, not a hole, but like a mark on the cover and a bit of a rip. So that is why I've reduced that one. So that one was £15.49. And one again that I also have in my PS3 collection, but it's quite a rare one. And I actually found two of these in the same store. So one had the manual, one didn't. And this is quite a rare and hard to find game, so the fact there was two in the same store was a bit random. But that is of Orcs and Men, and I picked this up from Coventry at the start of the year. So that comes with the manual. So I paid £15 for this from CX, and this I've sold for £29.99 plus postage. So really good profit on that one, but all things considered. It was from CX, and it didn't take very long to list all. So £15 profit minus some fees. So a few little decent sales. Obviously that one's not a lot of profit in that one, but some good profit in those items. But yeah, that is it for now. It's only the start of the week though. We are on Sunday night now, so we've still got the rest of the week still to make some more sales, so hopefully it picks up. Now, I have been listing quite a lot this weekend. My partner was away with her mum for Mother's Day, so I had the house to myself. Now, I have hurt my foot. I did mention last weekend that I twisted my ankle and it swelled up and bruised and stuff, so I haven't been as productive as I wanted to be, but I have managed to get a few listings from my garage onto eBay. So there's a few new items going up, so hopefully that encourages a few more sales this week and we keep up that momentum, because last week I did really well. This week it's not been the best start, but it's still okay. So yeah, that is it for me for now. I will pop back in other segments throughout the video and show you what I sold throughout the week. Hey guys, it's Wednesday. I've made a few more sales, so I brought them to work with me. I'm filming in my car because I haven't had a chance to do it yet. So I had to pick these up this morning before I left for work. So that is one of the struggles, I guess, of doing this part-time, is I don't always get time to just, go and grab it freely and record and everything like that. It is a bit of a rush job. So I'm on my lunch break at the moment. So I'm quickly filming this and I've got to go back in, get them all wrapped, and then take them to the post office and try and get back to my desk within the hour. So it's a bit of a time constraint. However, there's only 5 items, so it should be okay. I do have up to like 11 or 12 some days, so 5 is manageable. So the first one that sold is this retro Barcelona shirt. I believe it's a 1998 to 2000 away or third shirt. So I picked this up. Some of you may remember last year I picked up a Man United shirt, brand new with the tags, long sleeve, Champions League winner shirt. Beautiful shirt. Would have loved to have kept it for my collection, but someone offered me quadruple figures. They paid something like £1,100 for it on PayPal. So I was happy to sell it for that much. Didn't really want to sell the shirt, but at the same time, you can't turn that sort of money down. However, I picked up 2 shirts from this lady, and one of them was that Man United shirt, and the other one was this one. So technically, if we're splitting the money 50-50, I paid £50 for the shirt, £50 for the other one. However, I've made £1,100 back from that investment, and I paid 100 quid. So this shirt sold for £44.99. Now I did list it for like 70, and I've just reduced it every like couple of months, and it's finally sold for 45 quid. So You could argue it's a loss, but between the two shirts, I've got £1,150 from a £100 investment, so really can't argue with that. The next one is a watch from the watch bundle. Now this is a Christian Lacroix woman's watch, and it's like a bangle bracelet watch, really nice, really sparkly, got this like Aztec-y sort of colourful pattern on it, and yeah, very nice watch indeed. No marks in it, looks really good. So that's the first Christian Lacroix one that I've sold. So these ones do hold a lot more value than the other watches that I've been selling, but they have been slow sellers. I've only got 12 of them, and that's one of 12 to sell, so they have taken a little bit of time, but if I'm getting 70 quid for them, I don't mind. So that only owes me a tenner. The next one is a pair of sunglasses. These owe me, I think, 50p or 75p a pair of glasses, and I picked up a bundle of these last summer for, in fact, I probably need these for the video because it's very sunny now. So I picked these up last summer for about 75p a pair, and I got a big bundle of like, I think 20 or 30 pairs of them, and I thought with the England games coming up and the Euros, I'd sell really well. Now I did sell quite a few, about £8 to £10 each, and then now the Euros and the football's kind of like finished for a bit, they've not been selling, so I reduced them to £6 and somebody has bought a pair. So hopefully this summer they start to sell. I've got probably about 12 pairs left, but yeah, £6 for those. They were originally 10 quid, so 75p for an item that's a tenner. Really can't argue that. They're from Burton. The next sale is another good one, and I don't know if that's the last sale actually, but the next, no, there's two more. The next sale, I sold this last week, brand new and sealed, for £100, and this is the open version. So I picked this up in the summer with a big Call of Duty bundle, and I was researching the price on eBay, and someone had listed a brand new and sealed one very cheap within the hour, and I bought it straight away and sold that sealed one last week for 100. This came from the bundle that I originally purchased. So again, it's one of them things where I've already made profit back on the bundle. So if I break down individual items, I probably paid about 70 quid for this, and it sold for 80, but then there were other items in that bundle which sold for a hell of a lot more money. So I'm already in profit. So this has got me about 80 quid back, so happy with that. And that's 80 quid profit on top of what I've already made. So very, very pleased with that one. And the last sale, a cheap one in terms of value, but very, very good markup again. So the game bundle, the game haul that I picked up probably about 2 weeks ago now, there was a lot of stuff in there, and I paid 40p per item, and this owes me 40p, and it sold for £10.95, and it's an Assassin's Creed Wizard of the Coast Magic the Gathering like paper game mat, still sealed. Inside is a game mat that you open out and you put your card decks on it, so that's gone for £10.99. So yeah, nice little haul of sales. Bit slower than last week, but still some decent sales and some decent money coming in. So we're still on track for making that £150 profit, hopefully. One thing I do want to quickly mention as well, so I probably won't throw any footage in this video because I'm making a separate video on it, so stay tuned for that. But yesterday I went and spent 550, well, it's actually 525, I haggled him down, £525 on a big Pokemon card bundle. So there was a lot of Pokemon cards in there. I'm still learning, I don't know anything about them. I took my mate with me, Connor, who had been doing some Pokemon videos with me. He knows a bit more on Pokemon cards than I do, so I just wanted to make sure they're all legit and everything. And the guy was really sound. I didn't ask to film, bit weird, it's someone else's like house and garage and stuff, so unfortunately I couldn't really get any footage. But I got a little bit of footage for like the actual video, but not enough to like justify throwing it in here. But yeah, really nice guy. He was selling up because he wanted to get his garage renovated, so he needed the sale really. So I offered him 525. There's a lot of good cards that could be graded. There was a few graded ones in there, and there's some fairly valuable cards in there. So I really hope that I made a good investment and I didn't like get scammed. I think 500 was a fair price for what I paid. It's just whether it's worth the time and money invested to make a profit on them. I'm not planning on selling every single one. I do want to keep some for myself, but I also want to make a profit. So 500 quid is a lot to make back, but there's a lot of rarer, shiny cards in there that are not just base cards or hollows, they're art cards. We've got EX cards, and there's a few like illustration ones as well. So some very cool cards in there. So if you do want to see that video, keep an eye on the channel. It will be posted soon. It may even be up before this video. I don't know if it is, and I'll link it somewhere on top. But yeah, keep an eye out for that video. So that should be cool. And over the coming months, hopefully I'll be making some of those sales within the videos. But yeah, that is it from me for now, and I will check in tomorrow or Friday when I made some more sales.
1 week later.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I last checked in, as I've been away on holiday, and This video is going to be a merge of 2 weeks into one. So we've had the first week, which has pretty much been wrapped up, and I think where I recorded up to last time, we've got to a decent spot, and I then put my store in holiday mode, and since then I've made quite a few sales, but at the same time not that many sales, if that makes sense. More than I was expecting, since I put it in holiday mode for quite a long time, and I've got like quite a lot of things to post tomorrow, but there's no real great sales or great volume. So what I'm going to do is sort of round up the first week after this, and then I'll round up the second week afterwards, but we're going to finish off the sales first. So I believe I got up to the Marks & Spencer skirt, which was the last thing that I sold. So since then we have made a handful of sales. I think I've got like 13 items here. So we've got 3 more things to go through of week 1, and then we're going to pause there, and then I'll go through week 2 sales. So week 1 then, the last couple of sales we had come in was a set of 3 Disney Enchanted Collection baby changing bags. So these bags here cost me, I think, £35.97 for the 3. They're all in the sale, they're all reduced to clear in Clinton's Cards of all places, and that has gone for £79.99 plus postage. So very, very happy with that one. Really nice markup on that one, more than double my money. The next one are from the game sale, and they are some Frameworks Dungeons and Dragons figures. Now they're the same character, and I had 3 of these in total, so I put 1 in a bundle of like multiple characters, and then the 2 that I had spare I've listed together. They weren't worth listing on their own, so they cost me £4 each, so I paid £8 in total, and those ones have gone for £13.50, and those are the monks from the Dungeons and Dragons series. Well, this next sale is a little bit frustrating, and I'll tell you why, but we have a Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth playmat. Now these are both sealed, and they came from the game bundle, which cost me 40p each, so 80p for the 2, and they've sold for £14. However, the buyer bought them, and he's from America, and I have GSP turned on, but he didn't buy them via GSP, so I've got to essentially, let me just sort out my chair, I feel really low in this, but I've got to essentially add my own postage on. So I figured out the postage, sent it over to him, quoted him, and to be fair, he did pay. However, the annoyance with that is that because he purchased it before I put my store in holiday mode, he gave me a 2-day dispatch. I put my store into holiday mode for 13 days, or 11 days I think it was, and it's saying, or during that period, it then said I needed to post by the 8th of April. And I'd already put my store in holiday mode, and there's no way that I could get that posted until I came back. So this is now like 6 days overdue, and I don't know if I'm going to get penalised or anything for it. Like it will mark up on my overdue thing, but obviously I'll make a fairly decent amount of sales, so as long as it doesn't happen consistently, I shouldn't get too penalised for it. But it is slightly annoying that because it sold before I put it in holiday mode, it classes as 2-day dispatch, and it doesn't automatically update. So a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So that concludes the week for that. So what I might do actually is go over the sales statistics for week 1. So week 1 then, we made 13 sales, which is not too bad, and we've now started aiming for £150 profit a week, not 100. So the gross sales in total was £455.25. The fees were £68.69, and the postage was £46.18. And then the cost to buy all of the items that I sold was £151.87, which leaves me with a net profit of over £150, and it is £183.51, so very happy with that one. So I beat my target that week. And then obviously towards the end of the week I put my store in holiday mode, and then we go into week 2, which is a bit disappointing in comparison, simply because I put it in holiday mode and I wasn't expecting to make many sales anyway. So we'll go into week 2 now. So then the first sale of week 2 was a Shrek's Adventure 3D mug. I picked this up, I believe, for £2 from the car boot, and it is a Puss in Boots mug from Shrek, as you can see here. Now, not a lot paid for it, and that has gone for £16.50 plus postage. So with the mugs, they're slow sellers, but when they do sell, you can get some decent money for it if you buy the right ones. So anything really branded or from a specific place, then you're doing quite well. If it's just a generic mug, you're not going to get more than a couple of quid for it. But if it's branded or something cool on it, then it's always worth keeping an eye out. So the next one is, weirdly enough, these Harry Potter stickers have sold again. So I sold a bundle of 4 of these last week, and now I've sold a bundle of 6 this week from 2 different buyers. They've been listed on my store for like 2 or 3 years, and they both sell within a week of each other, so I don't know what's gone up with these, but there's 6 of these cards or stickers in here, The other one I sold was a bundle of 4, and these are a bundle of 6, and those have only gone for £3, but I only paid 25p for these ones, so the whole bundle cost me like 50p for a whole pack of cards, and I just split them down. The next one is a Warner Bros. World Abu Dhabi Etihad Airways Scooby-Doo bag. So quite a mouthful on that one, but this one, I believe I don't know if it's £1 for both, or so they're 50p each, I think that was it, or whether they're £1 each, I'm not sure. But either way, I got these really, really cheap from a car boot, and these are these really nice Scooby-Doo bags that are only sold on the Etihad Airways. Inside, they are unused as well, so they've obviously been purchased for a child and just not been filled in, but it comes with a museum mystery game, and inside there, we've got a scorecard, some stickers, and a passport holder thing, which is here. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there, especially if you're a Scooby-Doo fan or a collector. So that one, surprisingly, they're not worth a lot. I thought they'd be worth a lot more than what I sold it for. However, I'd imagine these would be like 15, 20 quid in the airport easily. But anyway, that one has gone for £10 and I paid £1. Might have even paid 50p, but we'll go with £1. So the next one, in fact I've sold 2 of these, so I'm just going to show you them both. These are PlayStation lanyards, and one's gone for £5 because I sent an offer out, and the other one was sold for £5.45. Now both of these were 40p each from the game bundle, so happy to sell them for that price. I did have 12 of them. I sold 10 in another bundle for £42.50 as well the week before. So those lanyards have made me £52 in total, and I paid £4 or £4.80 for the whole set of 12. So really, really happy with that one. The next sale then is, I think, another lanyard, and that is a Nintendo Switch one. So this one's actually used. There's a bit of marks on it. There's like some grey areas with like a bit of grub and stuff on it, just from general wear and tear. So this one's obviously been used by an employee, but this is like a Nintendo Switch promotional lanyard. So with that, I listed it for £14.95, as I couldn't find anything remotely similar on eBay, so I listed the price considerably higher on that one. And yeah, that one's gone for £14.95, paid 40p, really nice profit on that. The next sale then, Teletubbies Music Day playset. So this one was £6 from a car boot, and I've sold these similar items in the past for around 12 to 15 quid, so I took a little bit of a gamble on it. The profit was never going to be huge, however, pretty decent sum, so this has gone for £16.25, and as I said, I paid 6. It's like a little music set. So yeah, done that up. Also comes with a bag of 4 figures as well, which is pretty cool. The next one I think might have been a charity shop find, and I paid I think £2 for it. And that is a girl's Nike jumper, so I think it's like a teenager's rather than like a woman's. But that one is it just says size large, so I don't know if that's female large or teenage large, but either way, that has gone for £7.50. The next one is a Walt Disney mug. So this one's a Winnie the Pooh mug, so I sold 2 mugs this week. As I said, they don't sell very often, but when they do, you get some decent money for it. So this one only cost me £1 from a car boot, and it's like a Winnie the Pooh Christmas themed mug. Sent an offer out for £13, I had it listed for a bit higher, and someone accepted that, so that has gone for 13 quid. And then the last sale for the week is a Meccano magazine bundle. So these cost me 2 quid. I paid I think £18 for a massive stack of these comics, and I split them down into years, because as you can see here they are 1955, so there's 12, they're monthly, so there's 12 a year, and I had quite a lot of these. I think I got from something like 1947 through to 55, and this one only has half the year, but the other years had all 12. So I've listed them all into bundles, and I worked out I paid £2 each. So this is the cheapest one out of the whole bundle, but I've been selling those for around £12 to £14 a bundle. But as this one is the latest year, and there's only 6, I listed it for a bit less, and that's gone for a £5. So I believe that is everything. The only thing I'm questioning now is there is a Time Crisis game which actually sold last week. So I've just forgot to include it. So this was a Time Crisis game on the PS1, paid £1 from a car boot, I believe, and that one did go for £6.45, so about £3 or £4 profit after fees on that one, but that was from the week 1. So if we get straight into the results then, so no faffing around. So the results for week 2 was 10 sales in total, so not too bad considering that my store was in holiday mode, and the gross sales was £123.85. So quite poor sales in terms of price because I've sold quite a lot of cheap things. So with that, we've made we've paid £20.71 in fees, £25.62 in postage, and the cost to buy was £15.45, which means the net profit is a very disappointing £62.07. But in the grand scheme of things, I'll take that considering my store was in holiday mode. And with that, I'm going to wrap the week up and end it there. Sorry if the episode is a little bit longer this week because there's 2 episodes, so I've had to sort of merge it into one video. But it'll be business as usual going forward, and it'll be 1 week per video. So thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Sorry if it was a little bit choppy this week, but if you are new around here, please consider subscribing, especially if you're into eBay reselling or video game collecting, as I'd like to do both on this channel. So any video games I already own, I'll tend to resell on eBay, and any video games that I like to keep in my collection, then obviously I'll be adding them to the collection, and the eBay profits that I make fund the game collection essentially. So yeah, they kind of go hand in hand in that way. But if you enjoy the video, please drop a like, and I'll see you on the next one.